Welcome back. In this video, we are going to add the request permission launcher, which basically was this launcher that we set up that allows us to request for location permission. So do you recall what we needed to do for that? Well, the thing is, you can just open up the old project and put it side by side and compare, or like basically copy code from it. So inside of our location app that we built yesterday, we created this request permission launcher, okay, with this remember launcher for activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this entire thing up here. So this entire code, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put that into my shopping list app. So here underneath my item quantity, I'm just going to put that in here. So now I have this request permission launcher, which allows us to request for location permission. And that's what I meant with having this really handy code available to us. So now we can just reuse it whenever we need it. All right, and next we're going to add a button that allows us to request, and it will be inside of our alert dialog. Okay, if show dialog, alert dialog, then we had this button which said basically add shopping item and so forth. Then we had the cancel, and then underneath we had the title, add shopping item, text, outline text field, another outline text field which took care of the item quantity and all of that. And just underneath this outline text field, so inside of this column, I'm going to add another button which will have an on-click event, which I'm going to say should check if I have the location utility or utils dot has location permission. I'm going to pass in the context. So if I have the permission, then I can use the, well, actually, let me add the content of the button so that the arrow disappears. So here, if I do have location utils, then, or like the permission, I can request location updates and I can pass in the view model, similarly to what we have done yesterday. Okay, and then I will use the nav controller to navigate. So I'm going to navigate to my location screen. So where do I get this location screen from? Well, location screen is the route that we will have to set up in the main activity still, but this will be the name that I will use for it. And then this nav controller navigate will go and say this launch single top. So this launch single top is taking care of, or is it just a Boolean, which says whether this navigation action should launch a single top. So for example, there will be at most one copy of a given destination on the top of the backstack. So basically I'm just saying, hey, there should not be like a multitude of location screens inside of the stack. There should only be one. So that should happen if I do have location rights, so the location permission. Otherwise, if I don't have the location permission, I want to request permission launcher.launch. So that's what we copied this permission launcher in for. So this one here, request permission launcher that we set up yesterday, which basically just asks for permission. That's what we're using here now, where we're saying if I don't have permission to use the location, then let me launch that. And I need to pass an array of the different permissions that I want to use. So I'm going to use manifest dot permission dot, and here as find location as well as course location. So manifest dot permission dot course location. So this one here. And then the text of the button should say address. So I'm going to add a button that says address here. Okay. Now I would love to rerun my application to show you what we just built, but unfortunately I can only do that once we have everything ready that we can pass to our shopping list app. And before we do that, we're going to set up the well, we will need to set up the nav host. We will need to also set up an interface that allows us to geodecode the API service. So that's what we're going to do in the next video.